the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jet-A aerial ace, Rocket J. Squirrel. And his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Today, our story begins at the National Art Gallery in France, a fabulous collection of paintings dating back many hundreds of years and including thousands of old masters. So valuable are these pictures that every room in the gallery is watched by not one, but two guards. Guards whose loyalty is unquestionable. Guards who are honest, faithful, and,
How about True Blue?
But you're not... Shh! But you're not guards. You're Boris Badenov and Natasha Fatal.
Right, darling.
Well, what are you doing here?
Just waiting for you to introduce us. Come on, Natasha.
And in less time than it takes to tell, the two crooks had cut 10 old masters from their frames. Natasha quickly rolled them around Boris just as the door opened and the museum director walked in.
Ah, bonjour, Pierre, Marcel.
Bonjour, darling.
Putting on a little weight, aren't you, Pierre?
Not for long.
Where are you going?
It's time for crepe Suzette break.
Crepe Suzette break?
And I never like to keep Suzette waiting. Come on, Marcel.
And the two villains dashed out just as the director said...
Sacre bleu, mille tonnerre, and other mild French expressions. Stop them!
But he was a little too late. The two villains were already dashing through the alleys of Paris. However, the French police were not to be caught napping. I said the French police were not to be caught napping.
Huh? Oh, oui, oui. Calling all gendarmes. Calling all gendarmes. Bonsoir, messieurs.
And so, within moments, the whole area was surrounded by police.
Boris, if they find the paintings on us, we are kaput. How do we hide them?
Don't worry, Natasha.
Boris, you got fiendish plan?
When don't I got fiendish plan? Look.
Sure enough, the wily thief had wrapped the paintings in a package ready for mailing. And as his partner watched, he dropped it in the nearest pillar box.
Now how do we make our escape?
It's a snap.
And sure enough, as dozens of French gendarmes watched wide-eyed, an odd-looking couple strolled down the Rue de la Paix.
Blum de mi tante, Henri. Look there.
Is nothing to average American tourists.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? Look, he's throwing away dollar bills.
Oui, he must be an American.
Besides, he obviously doesn't have the painting.
And so the two villains strolled right through the police cordon. But as the gendarmes looked more closely at the bills...
Hey, Henri.
Oui?
This is the first picture I ever see of Washington with a mustache.
No wonder he shaved it off. He looks terrible.
Could he be a counterfeit?
Hey, watch what you say about George Washington. You want to break up NATO?
Nevermore, this dollar is, how you say, the phony baloney.
And the police once again took up the chase, but too late. For a short time later, Boris and Natasha were on a jet plane heading for,
Yes, where are we headed, Boris?
To pick up the package we mailed.
Where did you address it, darling?
Think, Natasha. Who could you send $1 million package to? He'd be dumb enough to give it back.
You don't mean...
Yes, I do.
Yes, that package, which arrived at its destination a few days later, was addressed to...
Bullwinkle Moose, Frostbat Falls, Minnesota.
That's me, all righty.
You're expecting a parcel from Paris, France?
Of course not. This is a family show.
Oh, boy. Sign here.
Did you send away for anything, Bullwinkle?
Just some wallpaper samples, Rock.
Wallpaper samples?
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing over the chicken coop.
The chicken coop? Well, it looks as if Bullwinkle may have the most valuable chicken coop on Earth.
You bet. These Buff Orpingtons don't come cheap, you know.
But remember, Boris and Natasha are on their way to get the painting back, and they'll let nothing stand in their way.
Especially nothing with antlers.
Oh, be sure to see our next episode, Transatlantic Chicken, or Hens Across the Sea.
me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! No doubt about it. I gotta get another hat.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Once upon a time, which is always a nice way to start a fairy tale, there was a great white castle in which lived a powerful duke who was a very proud man. He was proud because he was tall and straight and handsome and brave, but he was proudest of all when he took off his hat, for he had a huge head of bushy, flaming red hair not to be equaled by anyone in the kingdom.
Oh, I love my red hair. It gives me fire.
He would comb it 100 strokes every day.
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4.
It was his habit upon arising each morning to go to his mirror, which, by the way, was a magic mirror, admire his flaming locks, then...
Mirror, mirror, hanging there, tell me who has the reddest hair.
Violets are blue, roses are red, but it's only your dome that is redder than red.
This went on day after day, year after year, and the mirror always answered the same. That is, until one morning...
Mirror, mirror, hanging there, tell me who has the reddest hair.
Your hair is red, that's very true, but the girl who spins has hair redder than you.
Who?
Girl who spins.
Redder than me?
Makes you look like a bleached blonde, booby.
Shocked and horrified, the Duke ran to his address book.
G. Girl who spins. 728, small house in the forest.
Armed with the address, the Duke mounted his fastest horse and galloped off into the forest at top speed. When he arrived, he saw that what the mirror had said was true, for there, at a spinning wheel, sat a lovely young girl that had long, blazing red hair that hung down to her, hips.
My, but that's red. I say, what is your name, fair maiden?
My hair is red as fire and my skin is white as cream, so my name is Red White.
Hair's red, all right. Rinse job?
No, natural.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you'll have to dye it black.
Oh, I can't.
Why not?
I'm waiting for my true love, and he will only know me by my red hair. My fairy godmother told me so.
Now, see here. I happen to be a powerful duck.
That's Duke.
Oh, thank you. And you'd better dye your hair black, or you're going to find yourself in big trouble.
With that, the Duke turned and galloped away. Not as fast as he had arrived, however, for he had forgotten his horse. The poor girl was frightened, and as she sat weeping, her fairy godmother appeared.
Oh, there, honey. Now, don't blubber.
But if I dye my hair, my true love won't know me. And if I don't, I'll get into big trouble.
You just leave it red, dearie. I can handle that duck.
That's Duke.
Oh, yes.
The following morning...
Mirror, mirror, hanging there. Tell me now who has the reddest hair.
Red, white, like I said. Weren't you listening?
Nose is bad enough, but you didn't even bother to make a rhyme out of it.
Furious, the Duke wasted no time.
You must dye your hair black within 24 hours, or you will go to the pokey. Now, good day.
Godmother!
Oh, here I am, honey. Don't come unglued. Take these nettles that grow beside the road and put them in your spinning wheel. Every day you spin nettles, that Duke will lose 32 hairs.
Doing as she was told, Red White took the nettles and set herself to spinning. The very next day, the Duke was combing his hair the usual 100 strokes when...
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potatoes, 4, 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes... Hey, what's this? My comb, it's full of hair. Mirror, mirror, look at this. My beautiful red hair is coming out.
I can see that, Bobby, and you're not rhyming either.
I know. There's no time for that. Tell me what's happening.
Well, you understand, it's like kind of a hex. You know, a fairy tale whammy. Every day that Red White spins nettles, you lose 32 hairs.
The fiend! She's got to be stopped.
Taking a stout rope, the Duke sped to Red White and bound her securely.
There! Oh, I'd like to see you spin nettles with your hands tied, buddy.
But she did. For being a clever girl, Red White managed quite well to spin more nettles with her feet.
29, 30, 31, 32. Oh, she's at it again. Mirror, speak to me. What am I going to do?
I'm rather sorry that you called, for by tomorrow you shall be bald.
Excellent. You're rhyming again.
I know. Makes it more like a fairy tale.
And just as the mirror had said, by the following day, every last red hair on the Duke's head was gone.
You can stop spinning now, kid. You win. And I might add, I'm very unhappy about the whole thing.
Well, I'm unhappy, too. Even though I've kept my red hair, my true love has not come for me.
Gee, that's tough. Well, so long.
Wait! It seems as though I've made a slight mistake. The duck here...
That's Duke.
Yes, the Duke here. He's your true love.
Me?
Him?
Darling.
Sweetie.
It's too bad I didn't figure that out till he lost his hair, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
And so, as you knew they would.
They lived happily ever after. Hey, Bobby, what rhymes with after?
Hi there, culture and archery fans. Today's poem is The Arrow and the Song by Longfellow. I shot a arrow into the... Ooh, my, that smarts. Well, try again. Smaller bow. I shot the arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I know not... Oh! Boy, it's a dangerous poem. I shot a arrow into the... Oh, Faz. I chunked the arrow into the air. That's better. It fell to earth, I know not where. But when it...
You lose an arrow, Moose.
Why, yes. Did you find one?
What's it look like to you?
Looks like about 30 days. So if your feathered shaft should soar up high among the sparrows, you'll always know the final score. No hits, no runs, no arrows.
That's a pretty strange-looking painting, Bullwinkle.
I just paint what I see.
Well, what do you see?
This is what I see.
Hello out there, Peabody and Sherman here. Anyone for Tennyson?
Who's Tennyson, Mr. Peabody?
The brilliant poet who wrote The Charge of the Light Brigade.
Are we going to visit Mr. Tennyson today?
Well, no, I thought we'd visit the Light Brigade. We set the way back for Balaclava, a small port in the Crimea, in the year 1854. At that time, the Russian army had the British forces under heavy siege. We arrived on the scene just as Lord Cardigan, sitting astride his magnificent British horse, raised his sword to signal the advance.
Oh, boy, Mr. Peabody, we're just in time to see the Light Brigade charge.
You are laboring under a misapprehension, Sherman, for if you'll notice, the brigade is lighter than usual.
You're right, Mr. Peabody. The horses are there, but there's nobody on them.
It was imperative that Lord Cardigan be informed of this fact.
Brigadiers!
Stop!
Stop! What do you mean, stop out of the way? We're going to charge.
If you charge, your lordship, you'll be charging alone. A quick glance to the rear told the story.
Good Lord, they've done it again.
Done what again? Where are they?
They've all taken weekend leave for a month.
But someone's got to get them back here.
That is an impossible task.
Not for Mr. Peabody, it isn't.
Sherman's well-founded hero worship of me had done it again.
Here is a list showing where each man is spending his leave.
How many men are there?
6.
I thought there were 600.
Oh, no, there's only 6. That's why it was called the Light Brigade. The first 2 men on the list were Private Higginbottom and Corporal McChesney, and they had a weakness for Chinese food. The nearest Chinese restaurant, of course, was in Hong Kong, and that's where we found them, inside Ed Fu Young's chop suey.
You gotta get back to the post immediately.
Can't do it, lady.
No, we got 15 more courses of food coming, and we ain't going to leave till we get some.
15 more courses? That'll take forever, Mr. Peabody.
No, it won't. Hand me that fortune cookie. I inserted a substitute fortune into the cookie, and when it was opened...
The food has been poisoned. Signed, a friend.
God, blimey. We better get back to the blanking post and have our stomachs pumped.
That takes care of numbers 1 and 2. Next, Sergeant Clappingstone.
Where's he?
The city of Sebastopol, in, of all things, a circus. It seemed the good sergeant came from a family of circus performers, and in his off time he picked up a few extra rubles as a human cannonball.
There he is now, Mr. Peabody, climbing into the mouth of that cannon.
Excellent. He'll be back at the post in no time. All I had to do was charge the cannon with a little extra gunpowder, aim it in the direction of Balaclava, and the departure came off right on schedule. The next two names on the list were Lieutenant Faversham and Captain Trippingwell. We came across them on a tennis court in Rangoon, India. If they're that engrossed in the game, we'll get them back without their even knowing it. I took one end of the net, Sherman took the other, and we headed for the railway terminal with a match still in progress. I'm sure the citizens of India had never seen the 5:15 for Balaclava depart with a tennis match high atop the caboose.
Only one more to go, Mr. Peabody.
Yes, but that last one was a dilly. He was Colonel Fotheringay, or should I say Patient Fotheringay, for it was in a hospital in Odessa that we found him.
You'll have to be very quiet. The colonel has been stricken with severe pains in the chest. He can't be moved under any condition.
Mind if I see the x-rays?
Not at all. Here.
Close examination revealed something that only my keen eye detected. I can have him on his feet in 30 seconds. Prepare the operating room immediately.
But, Mr. Peabody, you're not going to operate, are you?
Sherman, by now you should know that I am one of the smoothest operators there is. Scissors, please. There, it's done.
Amazing, sir! Amazing! The pain is gone. What did you do?
I simply removed the metal from your tunic. Whoever pinned it on pinned it rather deeply.
By Jove! I feel so good I shall return to the post immediately.
Thus it was that all the men were present and accounted for when it came time for the Light Brigade to charge.
Brigadiers! Charge!
Oh, how thrilling, Mr. Peabody.
Not only thrilling, it helped end the war in the Crimea.
Then the British became their friends?
Well, not exactly. You see, following the war, the Crimeans borrowed a large sum of money from the British.
Don't tell me they didn't pay them back.
Well, that goes without saying, Sherman. Everybody knows that Crimea doesn't pay.
Last time, you remember, Boris and Natasha posed as guards in a French National Art Gallery and swiped 10 old masters, each worth a fortune. Of course, the museum director was very upset. He summoned the head security officer.
They took the paintings right from under your nose.
It's a pretty big nose.
Well, you deserve a little something for this episode.
I do?
Which of these paintings do you like?
Can I have the one of the clown?
Of course you can.
What happened, Chief?
It's obvious. I was framed.
Meanwhile, Boris and Natasha had dropped the paintings into a mailbox and sauntered past the police, disguised as American tourists.
I say arrest them anyway, Henri.
Aristide, you never arrest a tourist.
Even if they steal?
Aristide, look at the prices in the store window.
They are ridiculous.
Of course. So no matter how much a tourist steals, we're bound to get it back before he leaves.
Unfortunately, Boris and Natasha weren't crooked tourists, just crooked. And so a short time later, they were zooming over the ocean to intercept their precious package of purloined paintings.
Where do we catch up with it, Boris?
Where else? Frostbite Falls, Minnesota.
Little did they know that their package had already arrived and been delivered to Bullwinkle Moose, who mistook the paintings for wallpaper samples.
I'm thinking of doing over the chicken coop. How do you like this pattern, Rock?
The Mona Lisa.
Can't say I care for that pattern. She's got kind of a sneaky smile.
Bullwinkle, these aren't wallpaper samples. Somebody sent you a mess of beautiful pictures.
Drawn by hand?
Of course not. If they were original, they'd be worth $1 million. They're just reproductions.
What good are they? They got no calendars attached to them.
Bullwinkle.
They'll do to keep the drafts out of the chicken coop.
And Bullwinkle set to work, nailing the paintings to the walls of the chicken coop.
There you are, girls, your own windproof art gallery.
But in the next few days, Rocky had bad news to report.
Look at this egg chart, Bullwinkle. Those hens just aren't laying like they used to.
It's not their fault, Rocky. It's those pictures of the Laughing Clavicle and Mona Lisa and all.
Well, what have they got to do with it?
Well, can you do your best work with somebody looking over your shoulder all the time?
Well, maybe you're right.
I better do something about it.
Such as?
I'll whitewash the whole place, pictures and all. Oh, you're welcome, I'm sure.
And as Bullwinkle set off to find the whitewash brush, a long black car was pulling up in front of their little house.
Ooh, anybody home?
Hokey Smoke, who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself. Cerulean Blue, world's greatest art collector. And this is my secretary, Rose Madder.
Those are sure arty names, all right.
We pick nothing but the best.
Hey, haven't we met before?
You've probably seen my portrait in several galleries.
Art galleries, Boris.
Rogues galleries, Natasha.
Well, what are you doing here?
Just one of our little collecting trips, darling.
You wouldn't by chance have any old pictures around that you'd like to sell?
We pay top prices.
Up to $3.98 a piece.
$3.98?
Up to $3.98 a piece. How about that?
Come on, Mr. Blue. We may have something here for you.
And the unsuspecting Rocky led the disguised villains to the chicken coop, just in time to see Bullwinkle sloshing whitewash over the last old master. Of course, there was only one thing for Boris to do. He fainted.
Ooh.
Well, is this the end of our hero's artistic adventure? Be with us next time for Portrait of a Moose or Bullwinkle Gets the Brush.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say...
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?